Hello everyone, today we'll be going through a basic for loop, okay? So this is a question, let's read the question first, okay? So it says a PE teacher records the time of 8 students who undertake a 100-meter sprint. Sprint times are recorded in a vector v, this vector right here. And the teacher makes a mistake and writes down negative times. So these times over here, minus 14.58, minus 13.98, minus 15.28, and finally minus 16.02. Okay, so you can't have a negative time, okay? So these negative times need to be changed to positive. For example, minus 14.58 into 14.58. Okay, so to perform a for loop, we'll need to go through each element of v and then check if it is negative. Once we've checked it's negative, then we can change it into a positive. So we want to first know how to do a for loop. So a for loop, okay? A for loop will go through an index. So we will have a dummy index called I, and we'll go through I equals 1 all the way till 8, because there's 8 in the 8 elements in the vector v. So I equals 1 to 8. So this will go through each element. So v1 equals, so we have this vector v, okay? So v1 is this, the first element, v2 is this element, and all the way till v8, which is the final element, 12.98. okay? So we want to go through every element in v. So for I equals 1 to 8, we want to go through vi. So we don't want to change every element in v. We only want to change the elements that are negative. So this is a condition. So if v of I, if any element, okay, it'll go through v of 1, v of 2, all the way till v of 8. But if an element is negative, so if it's less than 0, we want that same element. So for example, v of 2 is minus 14.58. We want that to become positive. So to make a negative a positive, you would have to multiply it by negative 1. So if you multiply it by negative 1, right, so the star just indicates multiplication. And so the v of, for example, v of 2, which is minus 14.58, will now become minus 14.58 times minus 1, which is 14.58. So let's just suppress the output with a semicolon, and then we'll end the if statement and then end the for loop. So what happens is, okay, let's bring out v of 2. So v of 2 is now going to be v of 2 times minus 1. So it will become 14.58, okay? So let's run this and see what happens. Actually, we want to display v, so let's just put v there. It'll display the vector v and run this. Okay, so v is now the modified vector. So as you can see, the original vector had negative elements, minus 14.58 and so forth, and those elements are now positive. So for example, 15.28 was minus 15.28. So every element inside of the vector v is now positive, and they are positive because you can't have a negative time. So yeah, I think that's pretty much the end of the for loop. Hope you guys enjoyed it and learned something. Have a good day.